The rejected hatchling. The repair bay was never quiet. Old machines breathed like tired beasts. Metal pipes shook. Blue lights flickered across the walls carved deep into the mountain. This place was built by dragons long before humans were allowed inside. Yet now a single human worked here alone. His name was Eli. He was a mechanic, not a warrior, not a hero, just a man with oil-stained hands and a broken tool belt. Dragons did not respect mechanics. They only tolerated them. Humans were useful, nothing more. Eli wiped sweat from his face and leaned closer to a damaged power core. The machine was older than most living dragons, and everyone else was afraid to touch it. Eli wasn't. As he tightened the last bolt, he heard something strange, a sound that did not belong to metal. It was soft, weak, almost like crying. Eli froze. He turned off his torch and listened. Again, a small voice echoed through the dark corner of the bay. "Nobody wants me." Eli slowly stood up. That corner was marked with warning signs. Biodisposal zone. Nothing good was ever kept there. He walked closer. Behind broken crates and cracked stone, he saw her. A dragon hatchling. She was small. Too small. Her scales were dull and cracked, not shiny like other dragons. One of her wings bent the wrong way, dragging uselessly on the floor. Her chest moved fast as she struggled to breathe. Chains glowed faint red around her tiny body. She looked up when she saw Eli. Her eyes were huge, golden, full of fear. She tried to pull away, but the chains tightened. "Please," she whispered. "I didn't mean to be bad." Eli's heart dropped. He had seen dragons kill without care. He had seen humans treated like tools. But this was different. A hatchling. Alone. "Hey," Eli said softly. "Easy. I'm not here to hurt you." The hatchling stared at him. "Humans never came here." "You're human," she said. "Did they send you to end me?" Eli swallowed. "No," he said. "I fix machines." Her eyes lowered. "Oh," she whispered. "Then you should go. If they see you here, they'll be angry." Eli looked at the chains, at the scars on her scales, at the dark stains on the floor. "What did you do?" he asked. She shook her head slowly. "Nothing," she said. "They said I was wrong. They said I was broken." Her voice cracked. "They said no dragon would ever claim me." Footsteps echoed behind Eli. Heavy, dragon steps. A massive shadow covered the bay. Eli turned. An elder dragon stood there, tall and cold, scales sharp like blades. "Human," the dragon said. "Step away from the waste." Eli felt his chest tighten. "This is a living being," Eli said. The dragon's eyes narrowed. "It is a failed hatchling," the elder replied. "She is dangerous, unstable. She will be destroyed." The hatchling pressed herself against the wall, shaking. "I can be quiet," she cried. "I won't breathe fire. I promise." The elder dragon ignored her. "Your work does not concern this," the dragon said to Eli. "Leave." Eli didn't move. "How? Is she dangerous?" Eli asked. The dragon's voice lowered. "She should not exist." Eli looked at the hatchling again. She was weak, scared, alone, but dangerous? No. She looked abandoned. Eli took a breath. "I'll take responsibility," he said. The elder dragon laughed. A deep, cruel sound. "You?" it said. "A human mechanic?" Eli nodded. "I'll claim her." The room went silent. Even the machines seemed to stop breathing. The dragon stepped closer. "Humans do not claim dragons," it said, "especially broken ones." Eli felt fear crawl up his spine, but he didn't back down. "Then write it down," Eli said. "If she fails, punish me." The hatchling looked up sharply. "You would stay?" she asked. Eli looked at her and smiled gently. "No one deserves to be thrown away," he said. The elder dragon stared at him for a long moment. Then it said, "Very well." The chains released with a sharp hiss. "But know this," the dragon warned. "If she brings disaster, her blood will be on your hands." The dragon turned and left. The hatchling collapsed forward. Eli rushed to her side and caught her before she hit the ground. She was warm, shaking. "You really chose me?" she whispered. Eli nodded. "Yeah," he said. "Looks like you're stuck with me." Tears rolled down her face. For the first time since she hatched, someone stayed. Neither of them noticed the faint golden light glowing beneath her cracked scales. Something ancient had just been claimed. and the dragons had no idea what they had allowed to live. A human's choice. The silence did not last. In a dragon facility, silence never did. Red warning lights turned on across the repair bay. A deep horn echoed through the mountain, slow and heavy, like a heartbeat of stone. The system had detected an illegal claim. Eli knew what that meant. Dragons were coming. He picked up the hatchling carefully. She was lighter than his toolbox. Her body shook in his arms, but she did not pull away. Instead, she pressed closer, as if hiding inside his chest. "Don't let them take me," she whispered. Eli tightened his grip. "I won't," he said. He wasn't sure how, but he meant it. Heavy doors opened at the far end of the bay. 3 dragons entered. Not elders. Enforcers. Their armor glowed with red runes. Their eyes burned with anger. They were not here to talk. The lead dragon pointed a claw at Eli. "Human," it said. "Release the creature." Eli stood his ground. "She has a name," he said, "and she's under my protection." The dragons laughed. "Protection," one of them said. "You are flesh and bone." Eli reached into his pocket and pulled out the data chip the elder dragon had given him earlier. "The binding contract. You allowed the claim," Eli said. "It's recorded." The lead dragon paused. Its eyes scanned the chip. Then it smiled. "Yes," it said slowly. "And you signed the penalty." Eli felt a chill. The dragon read aloud. "If the claimed hatchling causes damage, fear, or instability, the human claimant will be punished in her place." The hatchling whimpered. Eli didn't look away. "I accept," he said. The dragons stepped aside. "Then take her," the lead dragon said. "But know this, humans who fail us do not die quickly." They left. The lights dimmed again. Eli exhaled for the first time. He carried the hatchling into a small storage room he used as his workshop. It smelled like oil, metal, and old human coffee. He placed her gently on a folded cloth. She looked around slowly. "This place is loud," she said. Eli smiled. "Welcome to human engineering." She tried to smile back. It came out weak but real. Eli checked her broken wing. The bone was cracked but not shattered. Anyone else would have said it was useless. Eli didn't. "I can fix this," he said. Her eyes widened. "Dragon said I cannot be fixed." Eli picked up a tool. "Machines say that too," he replied. "They're usually wrong." As he worked, strange things happened. The lights above flickered, then stabilized. A dead console nearby suddenly turned on. Eli froze. "That's not possible," he muttered. The hatchling watched quietly. "I'm sorry," she said. "Bad things happen near me." Eli shook his head. "No," he said. "Good things just don't understand you yet." He finished setting her wing and stepped back. For a moment, everything was calm. Then the alarm screamed again. This time louder. A sharp voice echoed through the mountain. "Containment breach detected." Eli turned. "What did you do?" he asked softly. The hatchling looked down. "I dreamed," she said. The floor shook. Energy readings across the facility spiked into the red. Ancient symbols lit up on the walls, symbols Eli had never seen activate before. High above, the Dragon Council chamber stirred. An ancient dragon opened its eyes. "It lives," it growled. Back in the workshop, the hatchling clutched her chest. "It hurts," she cried. Eli rushed to her. "Stay with me," he said. Golden light leaked through the cracks in her scales. Not fire. Something deeper. Something older. Outside the door, metal screamed as reinforced locks bent inward. The enforcers were coming back. Eli stood between the door and the hatchling. He grabbed a strange old device from the wall, a human-built power core dragons never trusted. He turned it on. The machine roared to life. The hatchling looked up at him. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. Eli didn't hesitate. "Because humans don't leave things behind," he said. The door exploded inward, and the light inside the room burned brighter than dragonfire. The hatchling who shouldn't exist. The explosion shook the mountain. Metal screamed as the workshop door tore open. Smoke filled the room. Red emergency lights flashed like warning eyes. Eli stood still, his body between the hatchling and the broken doorway. The enforcers froze. They had seen fire before. They had seen rage. But they had never seen this light. Golden energy flowed from the hatchling's body like liquid sun. It did not burn the room. It did not destroy anything. Instead, The machines around her began to wake up. Dead panels turned on. Broken arms moved. Ancient systems, silent for centuries, hummed softly. The lead enforcer stepped back. "This is not dragon fire," it said slowly. The hatchling cried out and fell to her knees. The light flickered, then pulled back in her chest. Silence returned. Eli rushed to her side. Hey, stay with me," he said, lifting her gently. She was burning hot. "I didn't mean to," she whispered. "I tried to stop it." Eli looked around. Nothing was destroyed, but everything had changed. The enforcers exchanged nervous looks. One of them activated a scanner and pointed it at the hatchling. The device screamed. Numbers broke. Symbols overlapped. The screen went black. "That's impossible," the enforcer muttered. They backed away. "We must report this," the lead enforcer said. "Now." They left without another word. Eli knew that was bad. Very bad. He carried the hatchling deeper into the workshop, into a hidden maintenance tunnel humans used long ago. He laid her down on a soft blanket and checked her breathing. Slow, but steady. "You're safe," he said, even though he wasn't sure it was true. The hatchling opened her eyes. "Why are they afraid of me?" she asked. Eli didn't answer, because he didn't know. High above, deep within the mountain, the Dragon Council gathered. Ancient dragons circled a glowing platform. Their scales were old, cracked by time, heavy with memory. A dragon scientist bowed low. "The hatchling is active," it said. "Her energy signature matches forbidden records." The oldest dragon lifted its head. "Say the name," it commanded. The scientist hesitated. "Worldbinder." The chamber went silent. One dragon snarled. That bloodline was erased. Another whispered, "It nearly ended us." The oldest dragon's eyes burned. "Bring the records," it said. Stone walls opened. Ancient tablets floated into the air. Symbols glowed as history replayed itself. Dragons ruling the skies. Machines bowing to dragon will. Then one dragon child, glowing gold, bending everything. Magic, metal, energy without effort. Not through force. Through understanding. "The world binders did not destroy," the oldest dragon said. "They changed." A younger council member hissed. "And that terrified us." The scientist lowered its head. The hatchling survived the purge. Somehow, the oldest dragon clenched its claws. Then the human interfered. "Yes," the scientist replied. The human claimed her. A low growl spread through the chamber. "A human should not touch such power," one dragon said. The oldest dragon's voice was cold. "Prepare containment. If the child awakens fully, we will not survive twice." Back in the workshop, Eli sat beside the hatchling as she slept. His tools lay scattered around him. None of them worked anymore. They didn't need to. The machines near her adjusted themselves. Eli watched in silence. "You're not broken," he whispered. "You're just different." The hatchling stirred. "I heard them," she said softly. Eli leaned closer. "Heard who?" "The old voices," she said. "They're loud when I'm scared." Eli felt a chill. "What do they say?" She swallowed. "They say I was sealed. They say I was never meant to grow." Eli's jaw tightened. "Who sealed you?" She looked at him. "The dragons." Before Eli could respond, the ground shook again. This time, slower, heavier. Not enforcers. Something worse. Ancient locks disengaged across the facility. Systems Eli had never accessed lit up under his hands without input. A message appeared on a nearby screen. "Royal Containment Authorization. Active." Eli stared. "They're coming," he said. The hatchling sat up, fear in her eyes. "If they take me," she whispered, "they will put me back to sleep forever." Eli stood. "No," he said firmly. He walked to the far wall and pulled away a rusted panel. Behind it was an old human-built interface covered in dust. Dragons never used it. They never understood it. Eli placed his hand on the console. The system responded instantly. Power surged. The hatchling gasped. "That machine listens to you," she said. Eli smiled grimly. "Human tech listens to anyone who tries hard enough." Outside the tunnel, something massive moved. A shadow blocked the lights. An ancient dragon's voice echoed through the mountain. "Human, step aside." Eli didn't move. He stood between the world and a child that should not exist. And for the first time in dragon history, a human was ready to say no. What the dragons tried to erase. The mountain held its breath. The shadow outside the tunnel did not move, yet the pressure in the air grew heavier. Eli could feel it in his bones. This was not an enforcer. This was not a soldier. This was something old. Very old. The ancient dragon's voice echoed again, slow and calm. Human, it said, you stand before a mistake. Eli clenched his fists. Behind him, the hatchling trembled. Golden light leaked through her scales again, soft but alive, like a heartbeat trying to escape. She's not a mistake, Eli said. The dragon laughed quietly. You do not understand what you protect. The floor split open with a deep crack. Stone moved aside as the dragon's massive head lowered into view. Its eyes were pale, almost white, filled with memories older than the mountain itself. I was there, the dragon said, when her kind nearly ended us. Eli didn't look away. Then maybe you deserved it, he said. The words hung in the air. The dragon's eyes narrowed. Careful, human. The hatchling stepped forward before Eli could stop her. I remember, she whispered. Everyone froze. The dragon's breath slowed. You should not, it said. Her small hands pressed against her head. I see fire, she said. Not burning fire. Thinking fire. I see dragons screaming, not in pain, but in fear. The dragon growled. Enough. The walls around them lit up. Ancient symbols burned into the stone, activating without command. The mountain itself responded to the hatchling's presence. Eli stared. She's controlling the systems, he whispered. No, the dragon said darkly. She is waking them. The dragon stepped closer. Long ago, it said, dragons ruled through strength, through fear. But then her bloodline was born. The hatchling looked up. They listened, she said softly. To everything. The dragon nodded. World binders, it said. Dragons who did not command magic. They understood it. Machines. Energy. Minds. The dragon's claws dug into the stone. They did not bow to elders. They asked questions. They changed rules. Eli felt his chest tighten. So you killed them, he said. The dragon did not deny it. We sealed them, it replied. Erased their names. Broke their wings. Made them weak at birth. The hatchling gasped. You broke me on purpose? She cried. The dragon looked away. You were never meant to hatch. Silence fell like a blade. Eli stepped in front of her. You call that order? He said. Sounds like fear to me. The dragon's eyes burned. You humans are the same, it said. Small. Fragile. But you change things you don't understand. Eli smiled grimly. That's how progress works. The dragon raised its head. This ends now. Step aside, human. Behind Eli, the hatchling grabbed his jacket. If they take me, she whispered, I will disappear. Eli placed his hand over hers. No, he said. Not today. He turned to the old console again. Symbols flowed across the screen faster than before. Systems unlocked that even the dragons had forgotten. The dragon sensed it. That interface, it hissed. Human-made. Eli nodded. You never trusted it, he said. That's why it still works. The mountain shook. Power surged upward through ancient channels. The symbols on the walls changed, responding to Eli's commands and the hatchling's presence together. The dragon stepped back. This is impossible. The hatchling's light grew brighter. Her broken wing began to glow, bones shifting, slowly aligning. She cried out, not in pain, but in release. Eli looked at her in shock. You're healing, he said. I'm remembering, she replied. The dragon roared. Stop this. But it was too late. The hatchling stood tall, still small, but no longer weak. The fear in her eyes was gone. In its place was clarity. She looked at the dragon. You were afraid of us, she said. Not because we were strong, but because we chose kindness. The dragon hesitated. That is weakness. She shook her head. No, she said. That is why you lost. The systems around them shut down suddenly. Silence. Then a single message appeared on every screen in the facility. World binder status. Active. The dragon stared at it. You have awakened something that cannot be controlled, it said to Eli. Eli stepped forward. Good, he replied. Because control is overrated. Far above them, alarms echoed through the dragon capital. Other ancient dragons stirred. Old fears woke with them. And deep inside the mountain, a child the world tried to erase had taken her first real breath. The war had not begun yet, but it was inevitable now. When the weak decide to stand, the mountain screamed, not with sound, but with pressure. Ancient systems fully awakened now. Doors sealed themselves. Power flowed through channels that had not been used for thousands of years. The dragon facility was no longer under dragon control. It was reacting. The old dragon stepped back slowly, its eyes fixed on the glowing symbols around it. "This place obeys you," it said to the hatchling. She shook her head. "No," she replied. "It listens." The difference terrified the dragon. High above, the dragon council chambers erupted in chaos. Screens showed live readings spiking far beyond safe levels. Dragon scientists shouted warnings. "This is not an attack," one cried. "The systems are responding to intent." The oldest dragon slammed its staff into the floor. "Then remove the intent," it roared. "Kill the human." Back in the mountain, Eli felt it before he saw it. The temperature dropped. The lights dimmed. The air grew sharp. "They sent hunters," he said quietly. The hatchling looked at him. "Because of me?" Eli shook his head. "No," he said. "Because of us." The tunnel walls exploded inward. Dragon hunters entered. Not soldiers. Not enforcers. Executioners. Their armor was black, designed to resist both fire and energy. Their weapons hummed with killing intent. One hunter raised its blade. "Human," it said. "Step away." Eli didn't move. The hatchling stepped forward. "Don't hurt him," she said. The hunters laughed. "You are the reason he will die." Before Eli could speak, the hatchling screamed. Not in fear, in anger. The ground cracked. Machines across the facility shut down instantly, except the human systems. Eli's console glowed bright blue. The hunters froze. "What did you do?" one shouted. The hatchling's voice echoed, layered with something deeper. "I asked them to stop." The hunters attacked. Eli reacted without thinking. He slammed his hand onto the console. Human technology roared to life. Energy shields formed instantly. Drones, old, forgotten human designs, launched from hidden ports in the walls. The hunters hesitated. "This is human tech," one said. "Dragons ban this." Eli smiled through the fear. "You banned it," he said. "You never understood it." The fight was fast, not violent, precise. The drones disarmed weapons. The shields blocked attacks. The hunters were pushed back without being killed. The hatchling watched wide-eyed. "You're protecting them," she said. Eli nodded. "We don't destroy what we don't need to." The hunters retreated, shaken. "This changes everything," one whispered before fleeing. Silence returned. Eli leaned against the console, breathing hard. The hatchling walked to him. "You could have run," she said. Eli laughed weakly. "Yeah," he said, "but humans don't do that very well." She studied him closely. "Why?" she asked. Eli thought for a moment. "Because someone once stood for us," he said. "Long ago. We just kept the habit." The hatchling placed her hand on the console. The screen changed. A new message appeared. Binding confirmed. "Human, world binder link, stable." Eli froze. "What does that mean?" he asked. The hatchling smiled. "It means," she said softly, "you're not just my protector." The mountain shook gently, like a bow. "You're my anchor." Far above, the Dragon Council stared at their screens in horror. A human and a world binder dragon, linked. "That bond was forbidden," one dragon whispered. The oldest dragon closed its eyes. "We feared this," it said. Not her power. It opened its eyes slowly. "We feared what humans would teach her." Back below, Eli felt something change inside him. Not strength, not magic, understanding. He could feel the systems now. Not control them, but work with them. The hatchling looked up at him. "They can't erase me anymore," she said. Eli nodded. "And they can't ignore us." Deep in the mountain, ancient doors opened. The first human dragon era had begun, and the dragons knew it. They had waited too long. The day dragons hesitated. The mountain was quiet again. Not calm, quiet like a held breath. Eli felt it through the floor, through the walls, through the air itself. Something huge was moving, but slowly now. Carefully. They're not rushing anymore, Eli said. The hatchling stood beside him, golden light steady around her scales. She was still small, still young, but the fear that once bent her back was gone. They're listening, she replied. That scared Eli more than an attack. Far above, the Dragon Council chamber filled with ancient shapes. The oldest dragons had risen from sleep chambers sealed for centuries. Their wings were heavy with age. Their eyes carried memories of worlds burned and rebuilt. A massive screen hovered before them. It showed Eli, a human, standing beside a glowing child. She has bonded, one elder said quietly. With a human, another added. That was never meant to happen. The oldest dragon leaned forward. No, it said. That was what we feared most. Back in the mountain, the air shifted. The ancient dragon from before returned, but it did not attack. It landed slowly, respectfully. The ground did not crack this time. Eli noticed. You came alone, Eli said. Yes, the dragon replied, because this is no longer a matter of force. The hatchling stepped forward. Are you here to take me? She asked. The dragon looked at her for a long moment. No, it said. I am here to understand you. Silence followed. Eli blinked. That was new. You tried to erase us, the hatchling said. You broke us before we could speak. The dragon lowered its head. We were afraid, it admitted. Your kind did not obey. You questioned. You changed systems we built to last forever. Eli crossed his arms. Forever usually means until someone smarter shows up, he said. The dragon actually smiled. A small one. That sounds like a human answer. The dragon turned back to the hatchling. You could destroy us, it said. You could shut down our cities, our fleets, our fire. The hatchling shook her head. I don't want that. The dragon's eyes narrowed. Why not? She looked at Eli. Because he didn't, she said simply. Eli felt his chest tighten. The dragon followed her gaze. You taught her restraint, it said. No, Eli replied. I just treated her like a person. That answer shook the dragon more than any weapon. Alarms rang suddenly, different this time. Not warnings. Signals. From across the dragon empire. Screens lit up in the chamber above. Dragons everywhere were reporting the same thing. Systems responding without command. Weapons locking themselves. Power grids stabilizing instead of overloading. She's not attacking, a scientist said. She's balancing. The oldest dragon closed its eyes. A world binder who chooses harmony, it whispered. With a human anchor, it opened its eyes sharply. That changes everything. The ancient dragon before Eli lowered itself fully to the ground. Kneeling, Eli stepped back in shock. Is this normal? He whispered. The hatchling shook her head slowly. No, she said. This is history changing. The dragon spoke loudly, its voice echoing through the mountain and beyond. I will not fight you, it declared, nor will I claim the child. Eli stared. You're just letting us go? The dragon looked at him. No, it said. I'm accepting reality. It turned to the hatchling. You are no longer in error, it said. You are a choice we tried to avoid. The hatchling's eyes filled with tears. I just wanted to belong, she whispered. The dragon bowed its head. And now, it said, you do. High above, one dragon council member slammed its claw into the stone. This is weakness, it roared. We should strike now. The oldest dragon did not move. No, it said calmly. If we strike, we lose. The chamber fell silent. Humans do not conquer with fire, the oldest dragon continued. They endure. They adapt. And now they're connected. It looked at the screen again. At that human. Eli scratched the back of his neck, unaware billions were watching. He did not demand power, the dragon said. He stood when it was easier to kneel. The oldest dragon stood. We will not make him our enemy. Back in a mountain, the ancient dragon rose. You and the child will be allowed to leave, it said to Eli. Under protection. Eli raised an eyebrow. Protection from who? The dragon's eyes hardened. From those who will not accept change. The hatchling took Eli's hand. They will come again, she said. Eli squeezed her hand. Yet, he said, but next time, we won't be alone. Far across the empire, Some dragons watched in silence. Others watched in fear. And a few watched with hope. Because a human mechanic had done something no army ever could. He made the dragons hesitate. The ones who chose to stay. The world did not end. That was the first surprise. After all the alarms, all the fear, all the ancient warnings, nothing burned. No cities fell. No skies turned red. The Dragon Empire still stood the next morning. But it stood differently. Eli and the hatchling walked out of the mountain together. No chains. No guards. The air outside felt lighter, as if the land itself had been waiting. The hatchling blinked at the open sky. "I've never seen this much space," she whispered. Eli smiled. "Yeah," he said. "It's big, but you get used to it." Above them, dragons circled, not in attack, but in watchful silence. Some kept their distance. Others followed slowly, curious. "They're afraid," the hatchling said. Eli nodded. "Fear means they're thinking." That mattered. In the Dragon Council chamber, arguments burned hotter than fire. "She is alive because of a human," one dragon shouted. "And because of that," another replied, "our systems are stable for the first time in centuries." The oldest dragon raised its claw. "Enough," it said. It looked at the final report. No cities damaged. No dragons killed. No weapons used. Only balance restored. "The World Binder chose restraint," the oldest dragon said. "And the human chose responsibility." It lifted its head. "That combination is not weakness." Silence fell. "We will not hunt them," the dragon continued. "We will observe." Some dragons were angry. Some were relieved. A few were hopeful. Eli and the hatchling reached a quiet plateau overlooking the valley. Wind moved gently through the stone towers left behind by ancient builders, human and dragon alike. The hatchling sat beside Eli. "They will always watch me," she said. Eli shrugged. "They watch us too," he replied. "Humans just pretend they don't notice." She smiled. "Will you leave me someday?" Eli looked at her, surprised. "Why would I?" She looked down at her hands. "Because I will grow," she said, "and you will stay the same." Eli thought about that. "Maybe," he said, "but that's fine." She looked up. "Why?" "Because someone has to remember who you were," he said, "not just what you become." Her eyes filled with tears. "You're not afraid of me," she said. Eli shook his head. "No," he said, "I'm proud of you." The wind carried those words far, farther than fire ever could. Deep within the mountain, ancient systems recorded a final update. World Binder status, stable. Human anchor, confirmed. Threat level, re-evaluated. One dragon scientist stared at the screen. "They're not preparing for war," it whispered. The oldest dragon closed its eyes. "No," it said. "They're preparing for a future." Years later, story spread. Not of destruction, but of change. Of a dragon queen who ruled without fear. Of machines that healed instead of harmed. Of humans allowed into places they were never meant to stand. And always the same beginning. A human mechanic. A broken hatchling. A simple choice. The hatchling, now grown, her scales glowing with quiet gold, stood on a high ledge, watching the stars. Eli stood beside her, older now, slower, but still there. "They still call me dangerous," she said softly. Eli smiled. "They used to call humans that too." She laughed. "Do you think they will ever understand us?" Eli looked at the stars. "No," he said, "but they'll learn to live with us." She leaned closer. "That's enough for me." Below them, the world moved on, changed but alive. Not because of power, not because of fear, but because one human refused to walk away, and one dragon chose to stay.